Hello. Hello, my friends. How's everybody doing today? Give folks a minute to tune in here. I am just here working on getting ready for the weekend. If you guys have questions as you're tuning in, drop them into the chat. Tell me hello. Let me know you're here. I see I got some people watching now. Hey, what's going on, John? Good to see you, my friend. Rockin' Keto Amy is here. Hi, Amy. Diane is here. Hello, Diane. Guys, say hey to me down there in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Mary is here. How are you, Mary? If you guys have questions, today is the day. I decided to hop on here and just say hello and just do a fun little Q&A while I am taking care of some business stuff here on the computer. I'm actually working on editing Saturday's video, which is going to be the carnivore or ketovore or keto stuffing or dressing recipe for Thanksgiving. So that's what I'm working on today. I'm getting that ready to go. And then Ash and I are going to be going on tour this weekend and having some fun with that. So we are headed out to Virginia. We're going to have some fun. If you guys happen to be in the Virginia area, you can go to ashtaylor.com. All of the info is there about where we'll be playing and what we're doing. But we're going to Gainesville, Virginia, and playing a show. So John says, not much caught the notice this time. That's awesome, John. Glad you're here, man. T. Jones is here. Hello from the suburbs of Minneapolis. Hello to you. Diane says, getting ready to pick up my granddaughter. Been on an egg fast the last 3 days. Well, that's cool. Diane, how's your egg fast going? Are you feeling good? Or you feel like you're being successful with it? That's awesome. Rockin' Keto Amy says, I watched your Euros video today. I'll have to look to see where I can get ground lamb. Yes, it's amazing with ground lamb. If you cannot get ground lamb, you can do it with just beef, and it is still really, really good. It just is a little bit nicer when you have some of that ground lamb in there too. So, but if you can't find lamb, you can just do it with beef. That works too. You can also try veal. That's a nice little textural difference as well. Let's see. Mary wants to know, what is your biggest recipe challenge you've done or are working on? You know, I think the hardest thing that I'm struggling with right now still is biscuits, carnivore biscuits. I can do all different kinds of things. I have a couple that I've been struggling with for a while that I am pretty close to being successful with now, coming soon. Biscuits, I'm still really fighting. I'm still working hard, so that's pretty tough. But that's probably my biggest one that I'm working on and don't feel like I really have a very good direction to go just yet. So great question. Cindy is here. Hi, Cindy. She says, finishing up laundry, then getting ready for our live today. Well, very, very cool. That sounds like fun. Diane says, yes, feeling good on the egg fast, but basically just needed cheap for a few days. Been keto carnivore for several years. Yeah, I understand. Rockin' Keto Amy says, I crave popcorn every time I smell it. There's no substitute. I hear you. I am working to see if I can come up with a popcorn substitute that would actually legitimately be a good popcorn substitute. And I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'm sure trying. We'll see what I can do. I understand there's not much better than popcorn, especially if you're like watching a movie or something. Anytime we go out to the movies, when Ash and I go see, we don't go to movies very often, but there are certain movies that are just special in the theater, just on the big screen. When we go out and we do that, it smells so good when we walk in the theater. And I know it's just cheap popcorn with a bunch of fake butter, but there's just something about the way that smells. It's just nostalgia for me. So, if you guys haven't yet, please hit the thumbs up button and let YouTube know that this is a cool thing. Let other people know that we're here. We'd appreciate that. Let's see here. Mary says, I make popcorn sometimes with bacon, grease, and butter. Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good. Diane, down the road from Chris, past Murfreesboro. Yeah, you're just right down the road from us. So, well, hey, if you ever are ready to be a taste tester in a keto or carnivore recipe video, you hit me up. You let me know. Cindy says, the kitchen genius you are, Chris. You can do it. Well, I appreciate that. I don't know if it can be done or not, but I'll sure give it a good college try. I will sure give it a good shot. So, what do you guys have planned for the rest of the day? What's going on? Ash is dropping the the little pooper dog off at her Uncle Scotty's house. She's staying with him for a couple of days while we're gone. And she is hopefully not struggling too awful much. It's raining out today, so I hope she's driving safe, but she should be back. And then we have to pack everything up. We're taking PA equipment, guitars, a suitcase. Like, when being a traveling musician is not always easy. You have to fill up the car with a bunch of stuff. So, especially for a show like this, because we're taking our own PA system. So that's really something. Patricia says, carnivore popcorn, next challenge. Yeah, that's hopefully that would be a good one. John says, popcorn smells good, but I never liked it. I always got pretzel bites with nacho cheese at the movies. I hear you. Sometimes the smell of certain things is better than the flavor. Lynn's here, says, hey there, Chris and everyone. Look at you sneaking in here today. Yeah, well, listen, my wife left the house, and I am here unsupervised, working on videos and working on getting stuff uploaded for this weekend and the whole thing. So I was left unsupervised. In my defense, I am without adult supervision at the moment. Let's see here. John says carnivore popcorn is pork rinds. Yeah, it's a cool thing to swap it out for. It doesn't really do it for me though. It's not close enough to popcorn to scratch that itch. So I'm hoping I can find something that would be really great if I can come up with a way to do it. So we'll find out. So I hope you guys can see me all right. I'm wearing a bunch of camo today. Sorry, dad jokes. Patricia says, how many guitars and what kind? So today we're going to be packing up both of my Acoustasonics, which are kind of an electric acoustic hybrid. They're Telecasters by Fender. They're meant to run through a PA system. They're great for this kind of thing when it's just Ash and I doing a duo kind of thing. And then Ash is going to be taking either her Hummingbird or her J200, probably acoustics, Gibson. And those are her two kind of main guitars. Since we're not flying, we don't mind taking those really nice acoustics with us. If we were flying, well, we don't take those because we don't trust the airline to not destroy the one of a kind guitars that she has. So we take the Acoustasonic that she has as well when that's the case, because I don't want them to destroy anything, but if they were to destroy a guitar, I would much rather have to replace that than the other stuff that she has. So we invest in really good instruments because it's what we do for a living, and I would hate to see those destroyed. So that's what we're going to be taking is my two Acoustasonics and then one of her acoustics. I'm not sure which one she'll choose. Maybe she'll want to take both. I'm not really sure. Let's see. Cindy says, sadly, I could not be in the live last night. Watched it last night, yelling out the answers to most questions. Cindy, you're funny. Well, there's going to be another giveaway where you're going to have another opportunity to win some of those knives. And in the meantime, I put a post up about it today, guys, but go to my community tab or my Facebook page or even the live from last night. There is a link, an Amazon link, and you can get 50% off of one of the chef's knives that's from the same series as the Nikiri knives that I was giving away last night. Really nice chef's knife. It's normally like 30 or 35 bucks or something. It's like 15 bucks now. And this is a great time to grab yourself a quick little gift for the holiday season coming up. Awesome time to do it. And the knife Saga knives are amazing. And they're a great budget chef's knife. Like if you want to go spend $1,000 on a single knife, sure, go ahead. But if you're not, which I'm not interested in doing because I just wear them out too much, this is a great way to get yourself a really good serviceable kitchen knife that's better than the junk you'll get someplace in Walmart. And it's probably so much nicer in so many ways than you can even think compared to something like that, but it's not super expensive. So I would definitely go pick up one of those. And that discount code is only good through, I think, the end of today. So make sure to go grab that before that discount code disappears. That link is in the latest post on my community tab. It's also in the video from last night. You can go to my Facebook page and you can find the post about it. It's about the knife. It's all there for you. So, let's see. And John says popcorn and coffee, great smell, but not a fan of the taste. Yep, I hear you, man. Sometimes those smells are way better than the tastes are for some of us. Mary says, Serious Keto Steve has a t-shirt that says, to be fair, I was left unsupervised. Yes, I totally relate to that. So I'm sure my wife is at some point going to come through the door. She may or may not realize I'm on a live, and she will probably be like, what are you doing? I leave you for 5 minutes and you get yourself in trouble. Lynn says, you probably would have won a knife last night, Cindy. Yeah. If Cindy knew all the answers that well, which I'm sure she did because Cindy's a very smart lady, she very likely would have. Let's see. My mom is here. Says, howdy, Mom and Dad here. Just going through Nashville. Well, hey, Mom and Dad. Sorry you guys aren't able to swing over here and hang out today. My mom and dad had to go down to Memphis with my grandparents, kind of a last minute family thing. So they were hanging out over in Memphis for a little bit and they're headed back today. So you guys travel safe. Be careful with the rain. Let me know when you get home. All the stuff like you always used to make me do. Everyone's saying hi to my parents and everybody's saying hello. Diane says, enjoy your chat. Have to run. Chris, you and Ash be safe and enjoy your trip. Diane, thank you. We will. We will do our very, very best. Patricia says, great explanation of honing versus sharpening. Yeah, thank you. For a long time, I didn't know what the difference was. I just knew that it somehow made your knife cut better, but I didn't really think it was that much different than sharpening. And then when I actually looked up how that worked back in the day when I, was really starting to get into cooking the first time, excuse me, I found an explanation of it. And I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense. That's really cool. So I apologize, guys. I got junk in my throat because it is a rainy and allergy-filled day here in Nashville. So if you guys are watching, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. I see I've got 17 people watching right now, but I've only got 11 thumbs up. So drop down there below the live chat in the video if you don't mind and just hit that thumbs up button. It's free, it's low carb, and it helps everybody else know I'm here. So tells YouTube it's a good thing to show other people this video. So John says, I just got a new 8-quart air fryer with an early Black Friday special at Walmart for only $35. That's a great price, man. That is awesome. Air fryers are a really great tool to have in the kitchen. Probably one of my favorite things to do in an air fryer is chicken wings. If you guys haven't seen my chicken wing video, you should totally go check out the chicken wing video. So I've got 2 of them. I've got how I do my chicken wings in an air fryer. And then I've also, I think it was a Kosori air fryer that I was reviewing. I think it's Kosori. And then I also have an ultimate chicken wing video. If I was you, that's the one I'd go watch. And then I would do it the way we decided was our favorite in there because it was amazing. Let's see. My mom says, wish we could have stopped to see you, but we have 5 more hours to go and have to be up at 5 a.m. for work tomorrow. Yep, I understand. That's all right. I'll sit here and cry. It's okay. Goodness. So, what's everybody having for dinner tonight? That's what I want to know. Ash and I are going to do, we've got a few leftovers from my live stream last night of the Euro meat, and there's some salad stuff there for her. And then I've got some burger patties in the freezer. I'm going to throw some burger patties in the air fryer and crank the protein because I got a long drive tomorrow. And I noticed if I eat a bunch of fat and protein the day before, when I'm driving like that, I'm much more calm and comfortable, and I don't get hungry as easily, and it just makes me better able to focus. So, John says, I got one about 6 years ago from my wife's work Christmas party. We used it every day. Yeah, they're great, man. I use mine regularly. I don't necessarily use it every day, but I do use it several times a week. It's going to be fantastic. So Rockin' Keto Amy says, my Rockin' Keto Amy meatloaf recipe. That's awesome. That's awesome. I need to check out your meatloaf recipe. So I love mine, but I'm always looking for other people's methods and the way they're doing things and what they're kind of using. It always gives me ideas, and always trying to, get a better recipe, make it more refined, always step it up to the next level. I'm never satisfied with it just being one way. Patricia says, can you cook the burger straight from the freezer? Yes, actually you can. And I'm doing some research, but I'm going to do some research to come up with some things we can talk about in a video on cooking straight from frozen for multiple things. Cooking from frozen, there is some science behind that actually maybe being the best way to keep juicy meat. To kind of be the outcome that you get. And I've heard both. I've heard that you should cook from frozen because it keeps it juicier scientifically. And then I've heard you should not cook from frozen because the result is not as juicy and tender. I don't know. So we're going to do some experimentation. I'm going to do some research, and I'm going to put together a whole video on cooking from frozen, how to get the best results with multiple different meats. And scientifically, does it actually make sense to do it or not? And we're gonna go into a lot of different science there. So definitely going to be working on that. But yeah, the air fryer burger patties I'm doing tonight, I'll put them in there frozen. I turn the temperature a lot lower, and I cook them from frozen, and they're fantastic. So Here's to Our Health says, where are you going to perform this time? We're going to be at, is it Craftworks? I think you'd have to go to ashtaylor.com for sure, because I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it's called. Actually, since I'm sitting in front of a computer, let me pull it up. I catch on eventually, guys. Let's see. I just want to make sure I get the name right for you guys, because I don't know off the top of my head if I'm remembering that correctly. We play so many different venues that sometimes I just forget the name of things. Yeah, Craftworks Tap Room, Gainesville, Virginia, and that is going to be at 8 p.m. That's on Friday, November 15th. So if you guys are in that area and you are free, come on out. It's a free show. We're celebrating 3 years of that venue being there, so we're doing some giveaways. And we've got like a raffle that Ash and I are going to run with like some merch and some different things, but we're going to play, a couple of hours of music and have some fun. So let's see. John says, killed it a couple of years ago, got a toaster type and didn't like that, so it had to go. Yeah. The toaster oven types don't seem to do as good of a job, I don't think. I'm very happy with my Tyfer air fryer dome, but a decent air fryer that does a good job is a really great tool in the kitchen. So you guys liking my double chin I still have to get rid of over here, and my I need to shave looking shadow? Also, any of you guys drink these Polar seltzer waters? This cranberry lime is really, really nice. I really like these. Let's see. Kay Smith is here. Salmon with creamy Creole bacon sauce for lunch and maybe keto chili for dinner. Man, that sounds great. That sounds really good. I'm coming to your house for dinner. Heck with the burger patties. I'm coming to your house. Cindy says, not sure about dinner. We just ate our first meal of eggs, bacon, and brisket. Yes, I need to get working on that brisket recipe that I've been telling everybody I'll do, like an oven method of brisket. So I love brisket. Cindy, I imagine your brisket is amazing. Maybe I should come to your house for dinner too and get leftovers. Patricia's asking if you got a recipe for brisket, Cindy. I'm sure you do, but I don't know if you have it on your website or not. But if not, maybe you should do one. Beat me to that punch, and then I can take some inspiration from yours when I do mine. Rockin' Keto Amy says, drops on my channel tomorrow. I was trying to film it last night during your live, so it's probably not great. When I grow up, I want to be like CCN. Amy, you were very funny. Thank you. I appreciate that. It has taken a lot of work to get to where I am, and I have help from my beautiful wife, who has also done a lot of work to get better at filming, because she runs the camera most of the time. She's amazing. I can't possibly do any of this without her, but it's a lot of practice, and I still have so much to learn and so much to be able to do, but it takes so much work to kind of up your game and everything. So, but it's awesome. I will definitely check out your meatloaf when it drops though, and see what you got going on over there. So if you guys didn't know, Rockin' Keto Amy has a channel, and you guys should totally go subscribe. Let me see if I can pull up her channel here. Yeah, let's see here. So I am subscribed to her channel, and you guys should be too. Let me see if I can grab that and drop it here in the comments for you guys. Share channel. There we go. I should be able to put this in my own chat without making YouTube upset. You should never know. Yeah, there you go, guys. There is Rockin' Keto Amy's channel. You should definitely go subscribe to her. She's awesome, and she's doing some what looks to be really cool stuff over the last couple of weeks here. So, yeah, go check out her stuff. And let's see. John says frozen air fryer burgers for me tonight. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I am talking about. Good stuff. Lynn says, probably just doing burgers for dinner. I tend to eat the same easy things all the time, and burgers is one of them. I'm kind of boring. Hey, that's not boring. That's just being efficient, Lynn. I love it. I think it's great. And honestly, when I'm not doing recipes and stuff, I really try to keep things simple as much as I can. We're too busy for me to do, complicated stuff all the time. So I know it looks like I eat really complicated stuff all the time because I'm always doing recipes for you guys. When I'm not doing recipes for you guys, I'm either doing something, if it is a recipe, it's one that I can crank out like that, or I'm doing things like, pork ribs in the sous vide, burgers in the air fryer, steaks in a skillet. I mean, I'm doing simple things. So Patricia says, double chin, why beards were invented. Just grow it longer. Yes. Well, see, the problem about growing it longer is, one, I have to be on stage and I have to look a certain way. And two, I have a wife that tells me, hey, it's time to trim your beard. And she's not wrong. So she is right about that because, I'm standing up there next to her. I'm supposed to be making her look good. So gotta keep myself as much under control as I can. John says, brisket, anyone try sectioning it into single meal sizes before cooking? John, brisket is hard to section it off before you cook it because usually brisket requires that long, low, and slow thing, and you can tend to dry it out if you cut it too small. What I would suggest you do, though, is you cook the whole brisket, section it off into meals, and then you find a way to reheat it like maybe a sous vide, so that way you don't overcook it, but you just bring it up to temp. That would be probably the way I would approach it to be able to reheat it. It just keeps things from drying out or overcooking when you do something like that. You could reheat it other ways, a low oven wrapped in foil kind of a thing, but it's real nice if you can do something like a sous vide. But it's easier to cook the whole thing, get it cooked properly all the way through, then portion it, and then reheat from there. It's kind of annoying, but I think you find you get probably a better, you get a better result. So, Rockin' Keto Amy says, thank you. You're so welcome. Mary's having leftover Mexican. Love it. Rockin' Keto Amy says, does anyone vacuum pack stuff for their deep freezer? I sure do. In fact, I have a video all about the WeVac chamber vac sealer. I don't know if you saw that or not, but I have a vacuum seal video, and I'm talking about that WeVac chamber vac. It's more expensive, but the bags are a lot cheaper, and so in the long run, you actually save money. And it does an absolutely amazing job. It works much better than the typical vac sealer that you would do. Like the what are they? Food saver type stuff. Vacuum. When you do the food saver thing, it's just pulling a vacuum against the bag. So if you have any liquid or anything like that in there, it becomes a lot harder to control what you're doing. And you can't vacuum seal something like, say, soup, things like that. Like, that's what I did in this video. I'm going to drop it in the chat here for you if you haven't seen it. That is my vacuum seal video, and I actually made a soup or stew and vacuum sealed that so that I could freeze it, portion it out. I've still got it in the freezer right now. But because it's a chamber vac, you can actually vacuum things that are liquid or wet on the outside or anything like that. So really, really cool. But I do that all the time. Patricia says, sure, country music longer is better. And Lynn says, if you grow your beard real long, you can be Dustin's twin. So here's the thing. I actually used to have a beard that was about yay long. And one, my wife did not care for it. And two, because we do the whole California country thing, which is more rock based. And it's a little bit more influence from LA because of the Don Rich and Buck Owens kind of an influence. It's not the same traditional country sort of vibe that you guys might be thinking. So yeah, the trimmed beard is unfortunately gonna be staying, I'm sure. So Rockin' Keto Amy says, I had to fold a brisket slightly because it was too large for my smoker, but I would never cut it. Yeah, I think, again, when you cut it, you start creating more surface area, which means it can dry out. And because brisket takes sort of a long, slow cook, it just unfortunately is easier to leave it whole if you can and then cook it that way. Now, the one thing you can do if you want to make it easier to manage is you can separate the flat from the point. So the point is the big round fatty side, and then the flat is the little thin flat lean side that can dry out, and you can do those two different ways. The flat is amazing for doing like corned beef, which you can very easily learn to do. Maybe I'll do a corned beef recipe for you guys if you'd be interested in that. But that's a really great way to just make corned beef, keep that nice and tender and juicy, and then use the point and do like the long smoke and the long cook, or cook it in the oven or whatever. Because it's fattier, you can cook it longer, and it doesn't get so it's not as easy to dry it out. We'll put it that way, because of all the intramuscular fat. It doesn't dry out as easily. So John says chamber vac, nice. Yeah, the chamber vac, man, is great. The only thing you can't do with the chamber vac is something very large, like if you were vacuum sealing, saying a whole brisket, it wouldn't fit in there. But I don't really have much of a reason to, I don't think, vacuum seal an entire brisket. So Patricia says she's into bluegrass, and Chris will demonstrate when he starts his cooking lessons. Yeah, there we go. Rockin' Keto Amy says, yes, corned beef, please. And John says, I need a bigger sous vide tub to make a medium rare brisket. Yeah, I've done sous vide brisket. I haven't done it medium rare because brisket just, I just don't find that it breaks down the fibers unless you cook it at least up to a certain temperature. But I don't know, maybe if you did like a 48-hour cook on it or something, you might be able to get a medium rare. I don't know. Amy says there's no such thing as brisket leftovers. Yeah, brisket doesn't last very long if you do it right for people, because people love their red meat. So, let's see. Charlotte's here, says fried chicken, Chris carnivore, mashed potatoes, and egg yolk gravy and green beans here. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. I'm coming over to Charlotte's. I got like 5 different places I got to go for dinner tonight now, y'all. You telling me what you're making? That's really, really good. Sounds amazing. So, I've been thinking about doing this thing. If you guys have questions, please let me know. Kitchen questions or personal questions. I don't care. I'm an open book. But I've been thinking about doing this thing. Ash and I are going to start looking into doing this for you guys. So I have an email list through my website, and I've not done anything with it. Like, I've got it there and I want to do stuff with it, but I just, one thing at a time. You just have to build things one at a time. And so one of the things we want to do is start doing a weekly newsletter. It wouldn't be anything crazy. It would be very simple, and I'm not going to spam you and, give you guys a whole bunch of, hey, try this, do this, buy this, click this. I'm not going to do that to you. But one of the things I was thinking of doing is doing a kitchen tool of the week, and basically just going on Amazon and finding links to some of the stuff that I use in the kitchen regularly, and putting a little blurb in my newsletter each week. If we do it each week, or maybe I would do one a month, I'm not sure, but doing something and talking about, like, here's something I use in the kitchen, here's recipes I've used it with, or here's why it's helpful, here's why I like this particular one, whatever. And then giving you guys the link where you could go directly to it if you wanted to buy something like that. Do you guys think that is a cool idea? Is that something you would like me to do? Is there anything that you guys would like to see in a newsletter? Have you even signed up for my newsletter? Have you gone to chriscookingnashville.com and signed up for my email list? If you haven't, you should, because I'm going to do some special stuff through there. And I promise I will not be sending you like 5 emails a week like some of those annoying companies do. I'm not going to do that. I will maximum send 1 email a week, unless there's some special thing I was trying to tell you, which, would end up in like a second thing. But my goal is like 1 simple email a week with like a short little newsletter attached. Like, is that something you guys would be interested in? And would you specifically be interested in something like kitchen tools that I could direct you to? And when I say kitchen tools, I don't mean like, here's a $500 whatever that you need for your kitchen. I'm not talking about that. I mean, there may occasionally be things like that, but I'm talking more like, here's my favorite spatula, and here's why I love it, and how it flips such and such in a pan, and what's so cool, and here's a link directly to it, and let me show you like this thing in action in this video. Like that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Is that something you would like, and would that be helpful for you guys? Let me know. Also, what else would you like to see if I was to do a weekly email kind of thing, like in a newsletter? Like, what information can I give you guys on a weekly basis that would help you? Tell me what I can do for you guys to help. Excuse me. By the way, John, you said I need a bigger sous vide tub to make a medium rare brisket. If you get an Igloo cooler and you get one of the ones that, it's got the little screws in the back so you can detach the lid from it, get yourself a big Igloo cooler, because they're usually pretty inexpensive. And then you get a yoga mat, which you can find sometimes like on Amazon, like used. You'll find them, they're open. They haven't really been used, but they've been opened, so they're not new. And you can get them super cheap. And you cut a little hole in the yoga mat, and you set the yoga mat over top of the cooler, and you slide the sous vide down through the small hole, since you have a sous vide wand. And that's a great way to have a giant sous vide container. That's how I do sous vide turkeys. And I also do a sous vide brisket that way. So if you're looking for a big container, that's a really good way to get one for like $30 instead of spending like $300 on some of those crazy branded food things. And the cooler, as long as the plastic it's made out of can handle that heat, totally fine. And the water is not touching the food, so you don't have to worry about anything leaching from that plastic into your food, because your plastic, your bag is made of plastic that, I don't know, there's some debate there, but whatever your food is wrapped in the plastic bag, hopefully is not leaching stuff. And, if you're going to use sous vide, that's a cool way to do it. So, let's see. Cindy says her first meal was leftover brisket. There you go. John, 135 for 24 hours, medium rare and super tender. Guga did it a while ago. Yeah, I've seen Guga do that. I've done some different cuts of meat for 24 hours at 135, and I don't know if I've been as happy about it. Maybe it's just because the cuts that I'm getting are not to the level that Guga gets, because Guga has a lot more money to do that than I do. Patricia says, is Spam carnivore? If you make it yourself, if you get it in the can, I don't know that Spam necessarily is carnivore. I haven't looked at the ingredients in a long time, but I know that I seem to remember I did one time, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. But I might be able to learn to do that. So, but now the Spam that I'm sending you guys, or not sending you guys, that's absolutely low carb. There's no carbs involved in that. Amy says, do you have a Southern greens recipe? I know it's not carnivore, but I like greens every once in a while. Yes, actually I do. I am talking with Ash about maybe we're going to try to do more frequent keto recipes like during the week, because I make sides for her all the time because, she sort of varies back and forth between keto and carnivore depending on how she's feeling. And there's some more reasons for that. We're going to be talking with you guys about women's health and hormones and stuff. I'm not. People who know this type of stuff are, but she's doing this research and talking with people in the community who can help with this. So she intentionally eats more keto sometimes and more carnivore other times, and we're kind of experimenting with this. So I'm making side dishes for her, and she loves greens, and I do have a Southern greens recipe. So we're talking about me doing some keto videos during the week where I would be doing like keto sides like that. So keep an eye out. Maybe we can get that for you sooner than later. And Cindy says, okay, I'm here now at your disposal at my PC. Well, Cindy, you're very, very kind. You're very sweet. Cindy is a rock star, and I can't do what I do without her help, honestly. And I was doing what I was doing without her help, and I was not doing it as well. And now that she's a moderator in the channel, she and Janelle and Maritza are all three moderators, and they help so much when they're in chat and they're doing things for people. It just, having friends that can help you and back you up, it just makes a really huge difference, and I just appreciate you guys so much. Let me see here. Hey, my video is done. Amazing. That's done exporting, so I'm gonna get that uploaded here in a little bit. That's good. Let's see. Span to be carnivore, right? Amy says, yes, that would be a cool idea. Also feature a recipe in it. Cool. Yeah, I can definitely do that. Maybe I can do a featured recipe in those things. John says, my kitchen all-stars are the sous vide wand and the air fryer. Yeah. I use both of those things a lot. That's why they both live on my counter, because I use them so much. I'm not going to keep getting them in and out. Cindy says, people love those kinds of things. Favorite kitchen gadgets. Yeah, I think that would be a cool thing. So Patricia says, any information would be great. I got the ground meat spatula and love it. Yeah, it works really well. I also use that to chop up carnivore noodles into macaroni-sized pieces now. So Marilda is here. Marilda won a knife last night. I did get your email, Marilla. Thank you so much. I'll get all that stuff taken care of, you guys. Says, good topic, how to choose cutting boards. Yeah, that's a great one. Show you guys what I use and kind of what I do. Lynn says, yep, signed up on your mailing list. What you're suggesting is a good idea. Well, thank you kindly. John says, you have the tweezer tongs, right? Yes, I do. Actually, I have a couple of different sets with multiple different shapes of them. I use them so much more than I ever thought I would. Those things are amazing. Patricia says, so your sous vide is a separate device. So Patricia, I have several different kinds of sous vides. I have two wand sous vides, which basically it's just the wand water circulator. You can attach it to the side of a pot or a container or whatever. It's just got a little thing that screws down and attaches it. I also have the Typher sous vide that has like the built-in screen and its own little thing that it locks in with the container and the whole thing. That's the one I use every day now. But I have the others so that I can set them separately down in like a big igloo cooler or whatever. So there's different kinds of sous vides, but mine is a separate device if I'm using the wand style that I use with the big igloo cooler if I'm doing something like that. So John says, I have an igloo cooler, huge igloo cooler that should work. Perfect. Charlotte says, I need to learn how to cook brisket. Well, I think a lot of people out there need to learn how to cook brisket because it's good if you know what you're doing. And I'm still trying to perfect it. It's not always easy to get it just right. Dark Ruby is here. Says you can get relatively inexpensive food grade tubs from restaurant supply companies for a large sous vide tub. Yep, if you can find a good restaurant supply, sometimes you can get those at a good price. I still find igloo coolers seem to be a little cheaper, but whatever works, wherever you can find the deal, go for it. Cindy says, I'm way beyond those female hormone issues. LOL. That's good. That is good. Hopefully that means you're all settled out and feeling good all the time. We're actually going to talk with the people in the community that we're going to be doing this kind of stuff, probably like interview type things with. We're going to talk with them and say, okay, so how do hormones change as a woman gets older? And then when they get to a certain point, what does that then cause diet wise, so that they kind of know what to do to support what goes on in their body? Because women's bodies are very, very different than men in this way. And, unfortunately in the community, I see sometimes men telling women, you should do this, you should do that, you just need this, you just need that. When Ash did carnivore, and she did well, but then she struggled the last couple of weeks, and now we understand more why. And then she kind of went back to a more ketovore lifestyle, and then sometimes carnivore, sometimes more keto or ketovore. There were some men in the community. There was some women too, but especially men in the community that were like, I'm disappointed that she blah, blah. And it's like, first of all, it's not your place to be disappointed in my wife. But second of all, as a guy, you have no place in being disappointed in a woman, because you do not understand what her body is going through hormonally. It's completely different than how guys work. Guys work on a 24-hour cycle. Women work on a 28-day cycle, and then it's completely different. And I think as men, we need to do a lot more to learn about this so that we can support our girlfriends, our wives, our sisters, our moms, our grandmothers, our aunts, our cousins, whoever the females are in our lives. We need to know more about this so that we can be more supportive of them and encourage them to move further down that proper human diet spectrum so that they get healthier and happier, but understand why their body is going to work differently in that way than ours. Like I'm trying to learn this because I want to know what I can do to help Ash. I want to support her and cook things for her and make sure she is taken care of. And that's that's what I want to make sure that I am supporting at all times. And that's why we're going to do this. So, and as you get older as a woman, things are going to change, and we're going to try to get the information of like, okay, so then when you hit certain points in your life as a woman, like then what do you do and how does it change? So I think we're going to try to get some good information for everyone out there and try to share. Amy says, good, I need the hormones talk, but afraid to ask. So glad she's going to talk about that. Yeah. We're just trying to help out. So Maritza is here, says, hi everyone. Impromptu just got here. Hi Maritza. We're really glad you're here. Thank you for all the rock star work you do. The beef muscle fiber, John says, the beef muscle fiber breaks down at 131. That's true. Anything will come out of sous vide, tender, medium rare at 135. That's generally true. Do a 5-pound choice eye round, top round, bottom round, and chuck roast for 8 to 12 hours. Perfect. Yeah, you can totally do that. It's different points along that between about 129 and about 135. Somewhere within there is where fat starts to render out. And that's the other thing you have to take into consideration, is there is fat that has to be rendered out of those meat fibers. So you can break down the muscle fiber and the collagen at 131, pretty much guaranteed. But there's also intramuscular fat in some of those connective tissues that don't break as down as easily until you get almost all the way up to 135. And then of course you have the time versus temperature thing, and it's a whole science. So that's why I like sous vide. There's so many different ways you can go with it. He also says the perfect brisket is a science project. You are not kidding about that. Patricia says, do you have to have a vacuum seal or use sous vide? No, you can actually use, there's a method called the water sealing method, where you basically put things in a freezer Ziploc bag. Now, it has to be the freezer kind. You don't want the cheap ones. You want the freezer heavy-duty Ziploc, but you put stuff in there. You seal it all the way up except for a small spot on the side. You set it down in water, and the water pressure will push all the air out and push the bag down against it. And so you get it right down above the water line, and then you zip that last little bit, and you can use it that way. It doesn't do as good of a job, but you can make it work. You can also use a straw and stick it in there and suck the air out and then seal it. You can do it that way as well. So you don't necessarily have to have a vacuum sealer. It does make it easier, but you don't have to have one if you want to kind of do it that way. So let's see here. Cindy wants to, or is telling everyone, we cut off the large piece of the brisket we bought, froze that, smoked the rest of it, only salted, about 180 for many hours. Yep. Very, very cool. Very cool. And that's the thing, you can kind of, cut it into two pieces that way and sort of portion it out, but that's great. Dark Ruby says, I still can't believe I won a knife last night. Thank you. Well, you're very welcome, and I got your email. We'll get that sent out. I'm very glad that you did. So super, super cool. Let's see. Everyone's saying hello. Maritza's saying hello. John says, I use Ziploc bags. It works fine, but vacuum is better. Yeah, I do the Ziploc bag. Like if I'm in a hurry, I'll use the Ziploc bags. You can also get reusable bags that come with like a little handheld pump that you can suck the air out that way. You can totally do it that way as well. So, yeah. And Lynn's saying, nice way to go, Dark Ruby, for winning the knife. Very cool. And Maritza says, all support is needed and appreciated. Yes, absolutely. And she says, don't forget to like and share. Yes, please do so. If you are here, hit the like button, the thumbs up button, and you can share this video with a friend. Let them know I'm here, especially if they got questions about the keto or carnivore kitchen. This is their chance. So Patricia says, because my Instant Pot has a sous vide function, or so it claims. Yeah. So the Instant Pot does have a sous vide function. I've never used one. I don't know how good they are. I know they do a fairly decent job. I don't know if they do as good of a job, though, because it's not circulating water. It's just trying to keep it at a temperature, so you do get more temperature fluctuation as it kicks in the element, and then it comes back down, and then it has to kick it in again, and comes back down. So you get some temperature fluctuation. Your best, if you can, to save up the money and get yourself a sous vide circulator. ANOVA, ANOVA. ANOVA is my favorite personally. Let me see if I can actually go find a link for the ANOVA circulator that is probably my favorite. I had it in my last video here. So let me go to my channel for you guys. And I'm going to go into my video I did with Cindy, and yeah, here it is. This is my budget-friendly version of sous vide that I recommend. So if you are if you're in the market for getting a sous vide, that's the one that I would recommend right there if you want the most budget-friendly version. My favorite sous vide that I have is the big one downstairs from Tyfer, just because it does such an amazing job. But I also understand that is a very expensive piece of equipment, and if you're not really into sous vide, that may not be worth the money for you. So that's totally fine. So there's a budget-friendly version. You might give that a shot if you're sort of in the market. So my dad says wait until Black Friday to get a sous vide wand. They are always on great sales then. Yeah, they may be. So I'll be keeping an eye out as Black Friday approaches. And if I find some deals, I will share some links with you guys as well. So, but if you're looking for one, that link right there, and that's a good price on it usually. In fact, let me see. Let me actually see where that price actually is right now, and I can tell you. Yeah, right now that's actually 13% off at the moment. So it's $65 for this ANOVA Sous Vide Cooker Nano 2.0. I've got one of those in the closet downstairs, and if I'm not using my big one, that's the one that I pull out of the closet and I use. And it's fantastic. So because I have several different sous vides that I've collected over the years, I can actually sous vide at several different temperatures simultaneously. If I was, holidays or something like that, I'm cooking for a bunch of people. So, and let's see. John says the sous vide wand is the best $50 I've ever spent. Yeah, it's fantastic to have the option of sous vide because you can make cooking so convenient. You can kind of set it and forget it. If you come back in 2 hours, dinner is ready. If you get stuck doing something, you don't come back till 3 hours or 4 hours or 7 hours, whatever it is, dinner is still just as ready and just not overcooked anymore. It just starts to tenderize a little bit more. So as long as you don't just turn it to mush by leaving it in there way, way, way too long, it's pretty simple and foolproof. So you just got to get the right temperature, and it's fantastic. Amy says, I didn't know the Instant Pot could sous vide. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, it does. I don't know how well it does. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but it is certainly an option if you already have it and you want to give it a try. So, but if you try the Instant Pot and you don't get a great result, don't blame sous vide for that, because sous vide itself, if you're doing a really good job and you have a good sous vide cooker and you like if you know what you're doing, you got your temperature right, and it's a good one that is keeping it consistent. It's an unbelievable way to cook. You can do some incredible stuff. You can just ask Cindy how good the poor man's prime rib, that chuck roast that I did. You can ask her how amazing that was. So she and Brian were here and got to enjoy that, and that was sous vide. And let's see. We've got Cindy saying, speaking of which, that was a lot of fun, Chris. Next time at our house. Yes, absolutely, Cindy. We would love to come up and do a video with you guys there sometime. Let's see. Lynn says, finally got smart and bought a bunch of disposable piping bags to make your noodles since I make them so often. I don't miss cleaning out my regular piping bag constantly. That's what I started to do. I mean, the reusable ones are nice, but the disposable ones make it so much easier. I've gotten to a point I can trim the chicken breast, cube it up, throw it in the processor, make the paste, put it in the piping bags, have the water heating up as I'm making the paste for the noodles, and it's ready to go. Turn around, make the noodles, and throw everything away and have noodles ready to go within about 25 minutes, and then another 5 to 10 minutes to clean up. And so I've got it ready to go in 30 minutes, which is faster and way less effort than making handmade pasta, which is what I used to do. So for people that are like, your noodles are so hard, it's so much easier to just make regular pasta. It's easier to boil pasta somebody else made, but it is not easier to make pasta from scratch. I can guarantee you that. Amy says, I need to check out Chris's noodles. I feel like I have years of Chris Cooking Nashville videos to catch up on. Yeah, there's a bunch of interesting recipes that are all out there if you haven't seen them. So what might be the easiest thing to do is go to chriscookingnashville.com, go to my recipes tab, and just scroll through all the recipe videos that are there. Some of my older stuff is not on there. I'm still, every now and then I try to get another recipe card or two made and put them on there. But all of my old recipes that before I had a website and recipe cards on there, those are in the description box of those YouTube videos still. So you can go to my playlists on Chris Cooking Nashville here on YouTube and see my keto recipes and then my carnivore recipes, which all of my carnivore recipes are also in that keto playlist because keto and carnivore both work together on the keto side. There are some recipes that are in the keto playlist, though, that are not in the carnivore playlist because they're specifically keto. So those are all here on YouTube, and then you can scroll through all of those and see what I've got. And then I've got all of the stuff on my website as well. So I hear an Ash Taylor. She's here. What are you doing?
Folding laundry.
Oh, she's folding laundry, everybody.
Packing.
She's folding laundry and she's packing. I'm just doing a live stream and telling everybody about the fact that we're going to be very busy this weekend and answering questions. So
great.
Yeah. Did you get the pooper dog all dropped off at Uncle Scotty's? Okay.
I sure did.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to bother your live stream.
No, you're not bothering me, and I know you're not bothering anybody here. You got a fan club in here that is very dedicated.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So, I know. Ash doesn't think she has a fan club. You guys put it in the comments and tell her how much of a fan club she has. Cindy says hello, Ash.
Hello.
Yeah.
Here. Come see.
Uh-oh.
Come say hi.
Uh-oh. Look who it is. Look who it is.
I'm all wet. It's like pouring rain outside.
I know. It was raining really heavy while you were driving there, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, I could hear it out there. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Well,
sorry.
hi, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Were you safe?
I was safe. I sat in the car with my heated seats and just drove.
You're not stuck in a ditch somewhere?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I gotta go. Bye. Someone has to pack, or else we're not gonna leave tomorrow morning.
I know.
Bye.
Yeah. Let's see. Lynn says the noodle recipe is one you definitely need to check out, Amy. Yes, I agree. That is such a wonderful, wonderful recipe. Like it is so good. It's so versatile. I think that's maybe one of the things that recipe to me has really been very useful. I've done multiple live streams with variations with that. I've done several recipes for like main Saturday recipe videos with that. Like I've done a lot of different things with that because it's very easy for anybody to kind of customize that recipe and do a lot of different things with it. You can make it really whatever you want it to be. I mean, I've done mac and cheese. I've done multiple different kinds of pasta salads. I've made the ravioli. Like I've done all different kinds of keto and carnivore things with that because it's such a easy recipe to, just kind of customize in all these different ways. So that would be a really good one to start with. Now, I did get a comment. I saw someone today, like late last night, I think, had commented that they made it for the first time, and they were like, Chris, you make it look really easy. I have done it a bunch, and so that's why I make it look really easy, but it is one of those recipes that after you do it a few times, it will get easier and easier and easier. So if you're doing it and you feel like it's really hard the first time, that's okay. Don't let that bother you or freak you out. It was really hard for me the first time. It was not one of those recipes that I did it the first time and I was like, wow, this is just super easy, no problem whatsoever. I really struggled to try to make that recipe the first couple of times I was doing it. Not because it's that hard, but it's just you have to learn the process and you have to figure out, well, what can I do to make this more efficient? So it's really something that you just kind of have to, get it under your belt. So who is excited, by the way, for Thanksgiving stuffing recipe that I'm dropping this coming Saturday? Who is interested in how this Thanksgiving stuffing is going to be made? Now, I did one last year, and honestly, it didn't get that many views. So I don't know, maybe people are not that interested, but I'm curious who is interested in my Thanksgiving stuffing, because this year's version is like so much better. Ash doesn't really even like stuffing on a good day. And she really enjoys this recipe. So it's fantastic. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one. And I would love to know if you guys are as excited about it as I am to drop it. So getting ready to start uploading it here. So just curious if you are all looking forward to this stuffing recipe, or if you're sitting here like, Chris, why are you doing this? Why are you wasting your time? I get that comment from people a lot of times, like, why do you do this? Why do you take the time? This is stupid. Okay, whatever. I think it's pretty cool, but that's to each their own. Everybody's got their own kind of way of, approaching this and figuring out what they're going to do with their lives. So let me know if you guys are excited about the stuffing recipe, because I'm looking forward to it. I think it's very, very cool, and I thoroughly enjoyed getting to sit down and have dinner with Carnivore Kay and her husband. We had a really good time. A really, really good time, and it was very good food. So not too much is better than good friends and good food. So let's see what we got going on over here. John says Walmart has a couple off-brand 1100 watt sous vide ones for under $50 at the moment. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Only thing about those things is I don't know sometimes about their customer service, and I don't know about the stability of some of the cheaper made ones. And they may be great. I don't know. I just know that Nova has amazing customer service, and they have a tried and true unit that has been put through the paces. So that's why I like them. But yeah, if you find a great deal someplace like Walmart, go for it. John also says I need to try those chili cheeseburgers. Man, those were so good. So good. Cindy says, Lynn, he had me do some of the noodles before we started recording that day, showed me the right way to use a piping bag so not to bust out the sides of it, LOL. Yeah, it takes some practice, and it's still, something that can be hard if you have smaller hands. it's a learning process, and you figure out kind of here's what works best and stuff. So there's Cindy dropping the carnivore recipes and the keto recipes playlist in there for you guys. Thank you so much, Cindy. Lynn says, yay, now you can make the noodles without cursing. Haha, Cindy Demench. Patricia says, yes, Ash, big fan club. She probably doesn't even hear me. She's probably downstairs now. Marilda says she's beautiful and precious and your helpmate according to the Bible. Yes, amen to that. Absolutely. Could not have said that better myself. I'm a very, very blessed man, and I try to remember that every day. Patricia says, question, my blender died, but my food processor still works well. Would the blender still be a good idea? Yes. I have a blender and a food processor both because I use both of them for different things. I think they're both great tools. They do similar things, but they also do some different things, and they do those similar things in different ways. So for certain recipes, one definitely will work better than another, and vice versa with other recipes. So if you got the budget, I recommend having a decent food processor and blender both. And ideally, if you can get a really nice food processor and a really nice blender, you'll thank yourself. They will be workhorses in the kitchen. I use them all the time. Lynn says she freezes the noodles all the time, telling Amy it works really well. Freezing the noodles works great. Refrigerating them works great. They're fantastic. Maritza says practice and learn. That's right. We practice and we learn. We just keep it rolling. That's how we do this. And I mean, listen, when I started doing all these things, I'm having to create these recipes. So you can only imagine how many weird, random things I'm having to fight as I'm trying to figure all of this out. That's just kind of part of it. You have to work your way through this, but I try to make it as foolproof and straightforward for you guys as it can be. But the reality is it does still take a little bit of practice because it just does. It just takes some extra work to learn how to do this stuff, and more so because of the fact that these are not techniques and recipes that are already out there that you can just go, oh yeah, it's like when I make blah, 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 blah. We're kind of in uncharted water here, and we're trying to, figure out how to make things do things that there is not a 150-year culinary heritage that teaches us in the West how to do. I have down here underneath my desk, I keep this right here, which is Escoffier's Le Guide Culinaire. This Escoffier is considered basically the father of modern cuisine because he came up with thousands of recipes and wrote this book with all of the bases of every kind of major recipe you can imagine. He basically, as a chef, is trained in the culinary arts in the Western world. That is the foundation of the entire culture that chef is trained in. They either learn from that book or they learn from people who, if you trace back where they learned, it all goes back to that book. It all goes back to Escoffier. There is no Escoffier Le Guide Culinaire for keto and carnivore cooking, especially in the way I'm doing it. So I'm taking things from those techniques, trying to use them in completely different ways, and I'm essentially kind of having to write my own Le Guide Culinaire carnivore. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. And so a lot of this stuff takes practice, and we're all kind of learning together as we go. But if you don't give up and keep at it, you will learn how to make these different things work. And it's so cool what kinds of things we can come up with and do. So, yeah. So Rockin' Keto Amy says, thank you, Lynn. I have an extremely busy schedule. I have to meal prep and freeze a lot of stuff. Yeah, those noodles are perfect for that. Cindy says, last year you didn't have the following you do this year, Chris. Well, that's very true. My channel has changed a lot in the last year. So definitely. And let's see, Maritza says, me. I think she's talking about the stuffing there. Cindy is saying stuffing dressing is a Thanksgiving staple for sure. Lynn wants to see the stuffing. Keto Amy is, I'm interested in stuffing, but I'm more interested in your carnivore mash. Yeah, if you have the carnivore mashed potatoes ready to go, that's awesome. Now, there's the regular old video, which I apologize for the quality, and then there's the more modern 2.0 video. I think the 2.0 video is a lot easier because there's a few things in there I modified that just made it easy so you can reheat it and all that kind of stuff much easier. So, but they're both great. John says, I used to make sausage stuffing, but that was before I went ketovore. Yeah, well, you'll be able to use this one and make some version of stuffing depending on how you want to do it, what your recipe would do. You could use this to customize. So you could do that again. Holly Springer's here, says, I'm interested in keto stuffing recipe. Have you made a carnivore sausage ball recipe? My family looks forward to the sausage balls. You know, I haven't, but I should look into that. I should really look into that. My mom's here and says, we're excited too for the stuffing, especially since you're going to be cooking it for us. Yes, my parents are going to be here for Thanksgiving this year, and I'm doing a majority of the cooking. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. There's Cindy with my carnivore mashed potato video and the 2.0 version. Thank you so much, Cindy. You are amazing. Maritza says, stuffing dressing is my favorite sides. Well, Maritza, I've got an option here for you that I think you're going to like. At least I hope you do. If you don't like it, then, you know, I apologize. But I'm doing my best to make sure everyone could enjoy this. Lynn says, I know I've seen your old stuffing recipe, but I don't remember exactly because I've only seen about 500 of your recipe videos. Yeah, I've put out a few of them. Let's see. John says, bought mine used, and I've been using it several times a week for 3 years now. That's great. Whenever that dies, I will be getting an Innova. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad it's hanging in there for you, man. Maritza says, Cindy, so fast at getting those recipes. Yeah, Cindy is just a banger of an OG kind of moderator. I mean, she does this for, you know, a number of channels, and she's amazing. And so she gets a lot of practice. She's great. So, but Maritza, you're doing an amazing job too. We appreciate both of you so much. Patricia says, I need the blender for Cindy's Keto Chow ice cream. Yeah. If you want something like that for like ice cream and everything, because you're getting that kind of liquidy texture that needs to be well blended, you're going to want a blender because a food processor is just not going to give you the same texture. Holly says, check out the Ninja Blender food processor in one. I love mine. Takes up less kitchen real estate. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if I've seen their food processor blender in one thing. I'll have to take a look at that. Bruce is here, says, howdy, Bruce. How are you, my friend? And Jujubee is here. Hey, fam. Hey, Jujubee. We're probably going to be seeing you sooner than later. Yeah, and Cindy's making a good point. Says a blender just mixes better when using melted butter as the fat. And that's the thing. When you get those kind of liquidy textures, especially if you're trying to combine like a liquid and a powder, powder already is kind of so broken up, but you need to get it combined into a liquid. When you have a processor, that single blade going around and around and around just doesn't do a great job of that because it doesn't create a vortex. It kind of pushes it out to the side and then it all comes back. Whereas a blender sucks it all down. It creates a vortex that sucks it in, and that's why it works differently. And let's see here. John says, I wonder if powdered carnivore mashed potatoes is possible. You know, I don't know. I'm so hesitant with those kinds of things because it's by the time you put something in a format that can be boxed, you have to have science and usually financial backers, and then they all get involved and they want it to be cheaper and easier. And it's, you know, it's all about profit margins, and it sort of changes from being healthy to being profitable in their minds. So I don't know. Might be possible if you find the right people to back it up. Patricia says, thanks, Cindy. We old ladies got to stick together. You're funny. And there's Cindy with my old carnivore stuffing recipe. Thank you so much for that. My mom says, majority of the cooking, I thought I got to just sit on the couch and be fed. Yeah, that's pretty much. I think my mom is going to be in charge of a keto dessert or something of that nature. I got to talk with her about the menu. But yeah, for the most part, my mom's going to get to sit on the couch and I'm going to be able to cook, and we're going to do family Thanksgiving that way. So, which is nice because she spent 30 plus years cooking Thanksgiving dinner for me. So it's about time I return the favor. Maritza says, I haven't let you guys down yet. So I'm going to do my best to not start that trend now. Holly says, time for my daily walk. See y'all at the next live. Bye, Holly. Have fun at your walk. And Lynn says Cindy does it all. She's amazing. Cindy is amazing. You guys give Cindy a rock on down in the comments, and give Maritza one too, because they're both rock stars helping out. By the way, if any of you who watch my channel regularly would like to jump in as a moderator and just help with the kind of stuff that you see Cindy and Maritza doing, I've got 3 right now: Cindy, Maritza, and Janelle. I'm going to add Dustin from Keto Simple, but he's doing his own channel with lives and everything. May or may not always be able to be here, like Cindy and Maritza and Janelle can't always be here. So if any of you guys are like, yeah, I love watching your stuff, and I'd be happy to pop in as a moderator and help or whatever, just let me know. I'd love to have a few people who are willing to help. So Cindy and Maritza are great, but I don't want them to feel the pressure of having to do it all the time, and feeling like they are expected to have to do massive amounts of stuff. So anyone else who can jump in and help would be appreciated. Patricia says, and after Chris cooks dinner, does mom have to do the dishes? No. My wife, my beautiful, lovely, wonderful, amazing wife, generally kicks everyone out of the kitchen because she has a system of how she does it. And unless she really needs help with something, she actually will run everyone out of the kitchen and tell them, no, this is my job. Get out of here. Get out of my way. So she probably won't even let my mom get up off the couch to try to help, because that's just my wife just wanting to take care of people. So John says Ninja blender, get those words out, is great for keto chow. Yeah. And Juju says, I just bought 2 pounds of ground chicken. Wonder why. Can't imagine. Cindy says, Chris, make your potatoes and then dehydrate them. Yeah, that might be an option. I don't know if you dehydrate and then rehydrate the proteins with the egg and the dairy and the things that are in there. I don't know what that would or would not do. It's very possible that it would work. I'm not sure. I also don't know by the time you did that if it would become too much of an expense or what the deal is. I think a lot of those things are usually freeze dried instead of dehydrated with heat. So I don't know. I don't know what I would get. Might be worth a shot sometime. Cindy says my mom is in charge of tasting and eating all that great food. Yes, and that is a job she and my dad will both take very seriously. Some rock-ons to Cindy. And Cindy says, I'm good, just can't be here on Tuesdays. Yeah, no worries. I know you're busy on Tuesdays. It's all good. And Cindy says, I can attest to the fact Ash refuses help. Yes, Cindy was trying to help, and Ash was like, Cindy, I love you. Get out of the kitchen because I have a system, and I'm just going to do my thing. So John's thinking like me, says freeze dryer would probably work better than a dehydrator. I'm thinking that's probably true. I would love to have a freeze dryer. I don't have the money for one, and I don't have any companies that would like to send me one at the moment. So Cindy's laughing, probably about Ash. Patricia says, go Ash. Hey, there's Dustin from Keto Simple. What's up, my brother? What are you doing here? It just says you're live on a Wednesday. Yeah, I'm just sitting here working on the computer, man, and decided to pop in and say hi. So, that's what I do. I got to keep you guessing. I got to keep you guys always guessing. If you're not guessing a little bit, you might get bored. I don't want that to happen. So, let's see what we got going on here. Oh, well, that would be why. Okay. And yeah, here we go. Talking to myself. It's what I do. You guys don't realize probably how much time I spend sitting here and doing stuff on this computer and talking to myself and probably sounding like I'm just a complete whack job. So, Lynn says, trouble has arrived. Hi, Dustin. Yeah, that's for sure. And Dustin wants to know, have you seen Resolve 19.1? Yes. In fact, I updated to 19.1 yesterday. And when I was editing my video for Saturday a little bit earlier today, I started using some of the new titles and the effects that are in it. So, really cool. Oh, hey, Janelle is here. Hi, Janelle. We were just talking about you. Were your ears burning? I was talking about you being a rock star moderator and trying to get you and Maritza and Cindy a little bit more help from anybody else who might be willing to jump in. I think Dustin from Keto Simple, I'm going to, in fact, after this live stream, I'll go and set him up too, because he is also, actually, I can do it right here. Look at that. Look at that. Hey, Dustin, you're now a moderator on the channel. Thank you very much for being here. Look at that. Careful, guys. I'll rope you in. Let's see. John says freeze dryers are also huge and expensive to run. Yeah, they are. They're very expensive to run. They're very large. I don't even know where I would put one. But it's probably what I would have to use to get the kind of result that I'd be looking for. But I don't know. Amy says, I'm starting to realize the YouTube stuff takes a long time. Yeah, it really does. When I'm doing this kind of stuff, a video like I did today, I mean, I got today's video done quick, and it's still not totally done. It's uploading right now, so then I have to go in the backside and do all the YouTube stuff and everything. Once it's uploaded, I have to finish that up and then do the recipe card and whatever. But by the time I get all that done and the video editing, I don't know that I've ever done a video shorter than 15 hours by the time I film it, which takes usually 3 to 4 hours minimum. And then I edit it and I upload it and I do all that other stuff, which takes another 8 hours roughly. Probably 12 to 15 hours is the fastest that I can do a video. And some of the more complicated ones can take 20 to 30. And that's just for a single video. So it's a lot of fun, and I'm passionate about doing this. And there's, I would not dissuade anyone from doing it. You just have to realize you're going to have to set your time aside. And, if that means you upload once a week, if that means you upload once every 2 weeks, like, you do what you got to do. And, there are things you learn as you go to make it more efficient so you can upload a lot more, like I do, and do live streams and different things. But this is also my full-time job now. So, I really take the time to do all of this stuff because it matters. But I would definitely work more hours doing this than I ever did in any day job I've had. So, Jujubee says, Chris, when you talk to yourself, that's called a staff meeting. You are not wrong. If Ash is here, it's like a whole campus-wide staff meeting. Dustin says, they've been watching me for a while. They know all about people who are complete nut jobs. Well, that's all right. We love you just the way you are, man. Trish says that's why we have pets, so we can say we're talking to the dog. Yes, unfortunately, the dog is not here right now. She's normally hanging out with her mother. So even when I'm sitting here, when I do have the dog, she's not usually in here for me. So she's hanging out with her mother. Marilda says, what is your weekly schedule for your live programs? That's a really great question. So every Monday, we go live at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for Monday Morning Motivation. And I'm doing that on both Chris Cooking Nashville channels right now, trying to grow awareness of the other channel that I have, the Chris Cooking Nashville Studios channel. And that's where all like the health interview type stuff will eventually be permanently. Right now, I'm just doing stuff on both because I'm trying to grow that channel and let people know it's there. So that's 10 a.m. every Monday, Central Standard Time. Also, on Tuesdays, I go live at 6 p.m. Central for Backstage with Chris. That is a live thing. Every Wednesday, Ash and I go live at 7 Central. So we will be live here in, let's see, it is almost 4. So we'll be live here in just a few hours on her channel, which is Ash Taylor Country. You can go to ashtaylor.com and find all of her stuff. And we do music stuff over there. That's a blast. You should totally come join us for Ash Wednesdays. Every week we do that at 7, unless we're, on tour or something and can't. And then things like this, I just pop in sometimes randomly and do lives. Sometimes I schedule them out and give people notice. Like, you just kind of never know. So I'm going to try to do more of these sorts of like Q&A sessions. And I'm going to try to schedule them out ahead of time so you guys know they're coming, so you can bring recipe questions or tell people about it, or, any of that. We can talk about diets things, or, research, or things we've seen in the community, or, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to try to do more of that for you guys. But, but yeah, that's a great question, Marilda. Janelle says, I was in the kitchen making your pasta. I love it. I'm so glad. I am so glad. I love that recipe. Jujubee says, I'm happy to help out, but I'm not always around. Well, I'll tell you what, Jujubee, if you want, I'll put you in, and you don't have to always be around, but if you're willing to do it, I'll drop you in as a moderator, and anytime that you can attend, just, you can be there. You don't have to, do anything. There's no expectation you show up every time or anything. It just gives you the opportunity that someone asks a question about something like, hey, do you have a recipe for blah, blah, blah? And if you know the answer, go find the video and drop the link in the comments. That's really all it is, that kind of stuff. Or, product links that I have and, videos, if you can go to that video because it's there. Like, if you don't mind helping out, I'd love to add you in. That would be very, very helpful. So, and if you can make it, amazing. And if you can't, that's totally fine too. Brenda Foley is here. Hi, Brenda. She says hello from Louisville. It's good to see you. Glad you're here. Lynn says, Dustin has a wrench. We better behave. Yeah, Dustin might have a wrench, but what's he going to do with it? He's not going to do anything. He's the troublemaker. He's not going to knock anyone else out for causing trouble unless they're actually being rude and getting out of line. So, Janelle says, I bet he knows how to use that wrench too. Let's see. Jujubee says, almost all, if not all, freeze dryers require a dedicated 220 outlet too. So for many people, it means an electrician call, and not possible for most renters. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer with that kind of stuff. So she says, or no laundry while it's running. LOL. Yeah, well, if I was to ever have one, it'd probably have to sit on top of the dryer anyway. So, John says live is fun too. No editing required. Yes, that's one of the best things about lives is you don't have to spend 10 hours editing the video and then putting it all together. And, it's really funny. I actually had someone who got real snotty with me one time about a live video that I did and said, you need to edit out all of this excess stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I literally responded like, it's a live recording. What do you expect me to do? It was very interesting. Some people, man. So it's pretty wild. Also, I was going to tell you guys, and I'm probably going to do a video about this at some point, but if you saw the post that I put up talking about the live stream, the Monday morning live stream, and it's my before and after picture where I'm wearing like a black t-shirt and I've got like the big goatee and the headband on and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, it was probably about the biggest I ever was. I was right around 400 pounds there. And then you see next to it is the after picture, me with red pants and like this black sort of fake leather blazer. I saved that blazer because I'd gotten to a point I was too big to even get it over my shoulders because I was just so overweight I couldn't even get it on. I saved that one, and I've got a brown one that looks just like it, just in brown. I saved those because they were my goal to get back to where I could wear them, and I can now, which is amazing, and I'm going to keep going. But I posted that and was talking about my Monday morning live stream, whatever, and I had someone who commented, I think it was the Monday morning live, whatever stream it was, I was talking about a video I was doing, and I had someone comment on that and tell me I needed to cut out the dairy because I'm a dairytarian, and if I would cut out the dairy, I'd lose weight and, all these different kinds of things. And I responded with some pretty like, hey, pump the brakes kind of language with this guy. I wasn't rude, but I was pretty direct in the fact that it's like, one, it's none of your business, and two, you have to be the most ignorant and arrogant person I've ever met in my life to, one, think you know what I eat on a daily basis to tell me what you think I am. Two, to look at this before and after picture, and what you take away from it is that I'm not losing weight fast enough for your liking, and therefore I need to cut out dairy. I'm probably going to do a long video about this at some point. Maybe it'll be a Monday morning live or some other recorded video, but I just want us to know, if you have people in your life that are pointing out what they think you're not doing enough, what you're not doing right, remember that comes from a place of arrogance and ego rather than coming from a place of you doing anything wrong. Now, I'm not saying that I should just eat all the dairy that I want, and I do want to cut down on my dairy, but it is a process. It is a journey. And when you look at that before and after picture of me, if the only conclusion you can come to about what I'm doing is that I need to cut out dairy, you are missing the entire point, and that's about your ego and your own self-importance and has nothing to do with helping anybody. So if you have someone in your life that's treating you that way, I'm sorry. I understand. I get it all the time. But that's why I'm here and I'm transparent with you guys about everything I do, because I want you to know you are not alone and it is okay. And you can come here for people in this community to support you. And people like that, I tell them to shut up. And if they won't shut up, I boot them from the channel, because we don't need people that have that kind of attitude and look down on people like that, because you deserve better. And quite honestly, so do I. So just wanted to say something about that and let you guys know you are worth so much more than that. And if you're trying to make changes in your life, don't let people like that affect you and talk down to you, because you don't deserve that. And doesn't mean that I'm just going to use it as an excuse to have all the dairy I want, because look, I used to be this and now I'm this and now I can do whatever I want. It's not that. It's not an excuse, but it is a choice to say, I'm moving one step at a time. This person is not someone I need to listen to or worry about, because they have absolutely no clue what I do on a daily basis. I also found it very funny that they said like, oh, well, I wasn't saying I know what you eat on a daily basis. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't know what I'm eating on a daily basis, then how can you tell me what I need to do or what it is you think I am? Like calling me a dairytarian is what he was calling me. So anyway, just very, very strange. So yeah, just wild. So you guys are not alone. I'm here for you and I'm in this with you. Let's see. Keto Simple Dustin says 22Q Cat and Janelle Sobowski are not wrong. Maritza says, oh, I have an appointment. See you later tonight with Ash. Have fun, Maritza. Good luck with your appointment. And Jujubee says, my husband never knows which one of my personalities he's coming home to. Lunchtime, I was vacuuming the vacuum. He was very concerned. LOL, just call me Monica. Well, that's all right. That's all right. We just roll with it. Dustin says, I'll not be around for Ash Wednesday. We were having movie night with the granddaughter. Well, that's awesome, man. Go have fun with that. And there's Janelle dropping in Ash's channel. If you guys are interested, go over there and come see us live at 7. Especially because Dustin won't be there. Wah, wah. No, that's great, man. I'm glad you're spending time with your granddaughter. Those are important things to do, because those years go really fast. Not that I would know from experience, but I know my years went really fast, and I'm sure my parents and grandparents enjoyed when I was little, but I ain't little anymore. So Chanel says, LOL, might be nice to know in advance. Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I didn't even know I was going to do this. I sat down and was editing, and I was like, I have a whim. I'm going to go on live. And, like I said, Ash left me unsupervised, so here I am. So Jujubee says, I got you. Boot those trolls. Just call me the enforcer. Well, Jujubee, hang on just a second. There you go. You should now have a little blue wrench next to your name. So thank you so much for all you do for us. And let's see. Yeah, so there's Cindy saying Mondays at 10 a.m. and Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays on Ash's channel. That's correct. And let's see. Keto Amy wants to know, can new YouTube channels have moderators? I do believe so. I think they can. So if you have someone in your chat or someone in your comments, there's a little 3 dots next to it. You should be able to click that, and it pulls up a menu that has options there, and you should be able to go through that to make someone a moderator. So let's see. John says that's not cheap. I don't know what we're talking about that's not cheap, but yeah, something is not cheap. I think I missed something in the comments there, so something's not cheap. Marilda says, oh my, I lost you and could find you when I went to other site. There's Jujubee saying, hey, where's my wrench? Sniff, sniff. Sorry, it took me around a little while to get around to that. Auntie is here. Auntie Broken and Bruised says, hi, is Chris Cooking Nashville finally caught alive? Glad you're here, Auntie. I love this. Dustin says, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you. Well, Dustin, you are a wonderful man, and people like you because you are good enough and you are smart enough as well. So I appreciate you, brother. Dustin at Keto Simple is a dude. If you guys haven't been over to his channel, you need to be. He does really great stuff as well. So if Cindy or Janelle is around to drop that, or actually I guess Dustin can drop it in if he's still hanging around, drop in your channel and let people see that link. Go over to Keto Simple, you guys, and subscribe if you haven't already. So Patricia says, we use N equals 1 for a reason. We're all so different with what works and what helps. Absolutely. Totally agree. John says, I'm there too. I'm still way overweight, but also so much healthier than I was pre-keto. No type 2, no high cholesterol, no high triglycerides, no high A1C, no high blood pressure. I don't care what anyone thinks. I am right there with you. And there's Dustin says, I got to run to the post office. Glad to see y'all. Have a great rest of the night. You too, Dustin. We appreciate you, my friend. And Patricia says 7 Central. Yes, Ash Wednesdays is at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. So 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays on Ash's channel. We do Ash Wednesdays. Oh, Dustin, you're very sweet, my friend, giving me a $2 super chat. That is so kind. Says, have a great night, Ash and Chris. Hope you have a great night, my friend. Cindy says, should be there after her live stream. Cool. Amy says, I'll be late tonight. Have rehearsal until 7:30. Well, that's all right. Have fun with your rehearsal. And Bruce says, I'm a carnitarian. Yeah, there you go. And let's see. Oh, yep, there's Jujubee with her little blue wrench. Very cool. Ann says, a little better each day. I may have just overdone it. Cleaned out my fridge and got Instacart order. Well, but the back brace helps. Well, good. I'm glad you're doing better. Please take care of yourself and just continue trying to feel good. We're praying that all heals quickly for you. Amy says, yes, cleaning out the fridge. Shauna might have been pushing it. Yeah. Could be, depending on what you're doing. So Shauna says, I was sitting on a chair. Brace keeps me from bending in the wrong place. I was careful. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Just please don't hurt yourself. So, and there's Cindy with Dustin's channel. It's Keto Simple. So you guys make sure to click on that and go subscribe. He is a wonderful man. Shauna says, I've been bringing up easy keto foods, putting in a cooler that don't take much prep. Another 5 weeks before the next x-ray. Okay, well, just take care of yourself and let us know how we can help you and pray for you, Shauna. Bruce says, just got to my destination and dropping out. I can help mod too if you need me to. Well, Bruce, I appreciate that. And yeah, I would love to drop you in there. I appreciate you very much, my brother. So I will add you as a moderator here. So we got a little blue wrench. So there we go. That gives Cindy and Maritza and Janelle some help with Dustin and Jujubee and Bruce now. That is very helpful. And if anybody else is interested, let me know. But yeah, that makes a big difference. So, well, cool. Well, I think we're all caught up with comments. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go so I can finish my uploads. And Keto Amy says, I've got about 2,000 more CCN videos to watch. I'm the one who needs the moderators. You're funny. You get around to them as you find them. It's no big deal. I hope you enjoy them when you do. So, Anti-Broken and Bruised. Shauna says, I also moderate about 4 other channels. Happy to help. Well, I will kick you in there. That should definitely start giving us some people. And there might be others that want to jump in too. That'll give me some people, and these are all names that I recognize and trust, which I appreciate you guys. So, appreciate you guys just helping out because it's a lot. And, Ash just can't keep up with all of the things when we live stream, trying to keep up with everybody. So I appreciate you guys being willing to be moderators, and anyone else out there who, is confident that they can help with that from time to time. Just let me know and we'll take a look. So, thank you guys so much for everything that you do. I'm going to get out of here so that I can get to finishing up this video, which is uploading and have everything ready to go. And Debbie Savings came in late. Hi, Debbie. I'm sorry. I'm just getting ready to go, but really glad you're here. You can watch the replay. We had a nice conversation, just kind of off the cuff and random today. So, but well, guys, thank you so much for being here. All of my links are down below as usual. Thank you to the moderators that have been here and the new ones that have just jumped on board. Anyone else that's interested, let me know. And we will be live with Ash over on her channel, Ash Taylor, tonight. We're doing Ash Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central. Please come hang out with us and listen to some music. We're going to be telling you about what all's going on with the music side of our world and what she's got going on. And she's doing amazing things. And we just appreciate your support over there. So anyway, thank you guys for being here, for hopping on randomly. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you very soon. This is Chris. Guys, eat your meat, love your life, and we'll catch you on Ash Wednesdays here in just a few hours. Bye, y'all.